Hey guys, so today I've got a really interesting video for holders of KAS and people who are new to KAS and want to understand it better. So I'm going to cover a number of areas here. I'm going to introduce KAS just for people that are completely new, but I'm also going to just throw in some information that's going to be there for people who are KAS followers and know the project very well, some things that they'll find very interesting too. And then as this video progresses, I'm going to share some really interesting thoughts in KAS. When you see some of the people that are behind KAS as a project, you see some of the people who've talked about KAS in the past. And then I'm going to finish with a bit of a talk from the KAS creator, and you'll just see why this project is such a big deal. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, so to begin with, KAS, if you actually were following charts or prices of projects, you probably feel like KAS is just another project that's suffering from the whole downturn in crypto markets and just the stock markets in general during May, which seems to be just a May thing anyway. But I'm going to just explain to you in this video why KAS right now at this price is really, really undervalued. And although it mightn't provide the highest returns from here out of some cryptos, it's probably the lowest risk and almost, a guaranteed 10 or 20x easily from here. Probably talking 30, 40x even, but, minimum 10, 20x from here. So to begin with, if we just look at this guy on Twitter called Captain Dwark, just giving him a shout out, go check that guy out on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And he just says here, the brains behind protocols of Kaspa are who experts highly recommend to work with. And he says the point here that's really important is experts, including Vitalik, the ETH founder. Their work was a design goal for ETH. They designed consensus algos before most alts existed. Check KAS. So basically what this guy is saying is that the project that is now Kaspa is a new project, but people who created Kaspa are complete OGs of the crypto and blockchain world. And even when ETH was coming out, before all the altcoins you know about existed, these guys were working on cryptocurrencies. And it's only now that they've come up with a solution that they're happy with to launch their coin, which is Kaspa. And just in this link that Captain Dwark shared here, you can see that they're talking about a lot of things here. Vitalik Buterin is talking about IOTA community, DAG algorithms, all this sort of stuff. But he goes down here and said, I personally would highly recommend Aviv Zohar. He has worked on DAG algorithms with Ghost and Spectre. And then he quotes Aviv again. And now Aviv Zohar, if you know who that is, he is one of the creators of Kaspa Ghost DAG. So, one of the brains behind the protocols of Kaspa. Then the actual creator and person that brought the KAS Ghost DAG to the market is Jonathan Sompolinsky. And this guy's a big deal, and he's been around since the start as well. And he was even cited on the Ethereum white paper. His work was cited there. And then Aviv Zohar is the guy that that Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin was mentioning on this page here. So this is Aviv here. Well, that's a more accurate picture of Aviv now. I'm not sure about this picture here. And then if you look up Aviv Zohar and Jonathan Sompolinsky on Google Scholar, you're going to find that these guys are a really, really big deal in the crypto space. I mean, their published works are cited like crazy. Like if you look at this, this article here from Aviv Zohar, that's been cited over 1,000 times. So is this one. I mean, he's cited so many times. Like people really, appreciate the work of this guy. And when he writes something, it's, all over the place. It's then cited by people, and you can see the years going back to 2008. We have things written by this person. 2015, 2012, talking about Bitcoin. 2011, something about multi-level marketing, interesting. But basically, what you can see is for a long time, this Aviv Zohar has been writing, and he's been talking about crypto, blockchain, things like that, and getting cited like crazy across the whole crypto space. Same with Jonathan Sompolinsky then. If you look up Jonathan, you can see that Jonathan Sompolinsky has been cited so many times as well. And again, talking about, crypto-based things and the GhostDAG protocol and Spectre and all these things that he's worked on. And you can go all the way back to 2013 here when he was talking about accelerating Bitcoin's transaction processing, fast money grows in trees. Basically always talking about trying to find ways to make Bitcoin more scalable, and that's what he's achieved with Kaspa. So for anyone that's completely new to KAS and just wants to know what is Kaspa, well, as we said, I wanted to really address who the creators are of the creator of KAS and the creator of that protocol, and that these guys are serious business, so that you understand that. And then I just want to explain really quickly to you what the blockchain trilemma is. And if you take most cryptocurrencies out there, but the easiest example is Bitcoin. It can't satisfy something called the blockchain trilemma, and the blockchain trilemma was originally coined by Vitalik Buterin, and what he kind of came up with it was that there's three pillars of blockchain technology, which are decentralization, scalability, and security. And basically, Vitalik said at that time is that there's the thing called the blockchain trilemma, and what that means is that there's always a trade-off between these three pillars. So if you want to become more decentralized, you generally are less scalable. And if you want to be more scalable, you're generally less decentralized, less secure, and so on. So if you take Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin is known as being very decentralized. It's known as being very secure, but it's known as being unbelievably unscalable, which is why sometimes it could take over a day for a Bitcoin transaction to go through, and it can be really expensive. Sometimes a Bitcoin transaction could cost you $50. Now, Ethereum was launched like Bitcoin as a proof of work protocol, and proof of work is just where miners mine the crypto, and through that they validate transactions and secure the network and decentralize it. And the Ethereum was just like Bitcoin, and then they decided that they wanted to be more scalable, so they switched to a proof of stake protocol. And by switching through to a proof of stake protocol, they gave up some of that decentralization and even gave up some of that security. So that was the trade-off. And it seemed like this was an unsolvable problem until KAS came along. But KAS is the first crypto ever that solved the blockchain trilemma. And that's why it's a really big deal. It's finally done what Satoshi Nakamoto, who created Bitcoin, was trying to do, and what Vitalik Buterin was trying to do, and what every other crypto project out there was trying to do, which was create a proof of work project that was decentralized, secure, and scalable. And proof of work mightn't be the way to go, or mightn't be the best way to do things. And I'm going to share something from Jonathan Sompolinsky talking about that absolute fact that maybe proof of work isn't the best way, but the fact that Kaspa has solved that trilemma through a proof of work model means that it's going to be a huge project. It's going to be around for a long time, and it's going to increase a lot in value over time. So to understand how KAS has solved the trilemma, there's a really, really great video that I'm going to play for you here. And I hope the creator of this video doesn't mind, but I'm just taking it from, so as you can see, there's a competition right now running on the KAS Discord, and people are just creating videos to show how the Kaspa works and why it's such an amazing, revolutionary invention, and why it's so much better than Bitcoin. So I'm going to play that video for you now, and then we'll come back and look at some other points in a second.
Introduced in 2021 after 10 years of research, Kaspa is the next generation cryptocurrency that's set to redefine blockchain landscape. Kaspa utilizes a revolutionary structure called blockDAG, a directed acyclic graph, which implements the GhostDAG protocol. GhostDAG does not orphan blocks created in parallel, but rather allows them to coexist and orders them in consensus. This allows for secure operations while maintaining very high block rates. It is currently 1 block per second, aiming for 10 blocks per second, with visions of 100 blocks per second. Bitcoin started as a peer-to-peer currency. However, its blockchain faces limitations in scalability due to its linear structure. In addition to that, Bitcoin transactions sometimes come with hefty fees and longer confirmation times. Unlike Bitcoin's sequential confirmation process, Kaspa's parallel processing enhances speed, reduces fees with no trade-offs as the network stays decentralized and secure, solving the trilemma. Kaspa is a technological leap forward with its innovative block DAG structure. It outshines traditional blockchains, offering improved scalability, reduced fees, and faster transactions. With its commitment to proof of work, Kaspa ensures decentralization without compromise.
Yeah, so then the next thing that's really interesting is like that's just so cool to see that as we said, this KAS is so decentralized, it's so secure, but then because the block DAG, it's so scalable and it's becoming more and more scalable as time goes on, like infinitely more scalable than Bitcoin. So then what I just wanted to go was share something from Captain Sats, and this is a person really worth checking out for any interest that you have in Kaspa, because they've just got they're just always sharing fantastic things about Kaspa, and he's just calling out Ethereum holders, and he said Ethereum holders Sompolinsky, see Vitalik vid, so this video below, founded KAS. He's the reason ETH had secure fast block times and put the G in Gasper consensus. Casper, and he's talking about the other crypto that's called Casper, is even named after his work Ghost. Like ETH, research Kaspa. So he's just calling out people that love Ethereum and saying, you got to check out Kaspa as well. So I've got 2 videos here that I'm going to play to you with Vitalik Buterin. One of the biggest deals in the whole cryptocurrency space, talking about KAS. And I'm actually going to share at the end of this video, I'm going to share another video where you're going to see all these people from all through the crypto space who are all the top inventors and geniuses in the crypto space talking about KAS as well. I'll share that at the end of this video. But let's look at Vitalik Buterin talking about KAS and even naming KAS and the Ghost protocol. I think you start to realize what a big deal this is.
So consensus runs on these 2 big algorithms. One of them is this LMD Ghost fork choice rule, which is an adaptation of this Ghost algorithm that was invented by Jonathan Sompolinsky in 2013 to a proof-of-stake context. And the main goal of LMD Ghost is to be able to handle network latency, be able to handle fast messages, and be able to kind of help rapidly confirm blocks.
So we have a proof of stake based on a Casper FFG plus LMD Ghost. As I mentioned, combines together the benefits of a traditional BFT consensus and a chain-based consensus, and also Ghost, this wonderful algorithm from Aviva Zohar and Jonathan Sompolinsky that we adapted to a Vlad adapted to a proof of stake context.
Yeah, so they're pretty cool videos. I mean, again, if you're new to KAS or you're new to crypto space, you mightn't realize what a big deal that is to have someone like Vitalik Buterin talking about KAS in that way, or talking about the KAS creator in that way. But I recommend just, if you're new to this space, looking up Vitalik Buterin, looking up Satoshi Nakamoto, looking up Bitcoin, looking up the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the problem they're trying to solve. And then you're going to come to the logical conclusion that KAS has actually finally solved that problem, and that's why it's such a big deal. So next up, the last thing I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about price and where price could be going to. But before I do that, I actually want to play something to you here from Jonathan Sompolinsky, the KAS creator. I don't know, does he actually speak English? I presume he does, but I don't actually know. This conversation is in Sompolinsky's native language, so it's not in English, but it's got subtitles at the bottom. So just read those subtitles. And basically in this, he's describing how KAS's proof of work model is, more as scalable as a proof of stake model, and how, you can confirm, as it says here, a transaction faster than network latency. So in that sense, give me any proof of stake system and I can match it in proof of work. That's what he goes to say in the video, but it's more interesting when you hear him say it. But basically, he's talking about how Kaspa is as scalable as any proof of stake model, and all those proof of stake models were designed with the goal of they felt like they couldn't be decentralized and secure and be scalable at the same time, so they chose scalability. But KAS actually is decentralized and secure and it's as scalable as these proof of stake cryptos. And then I think what was interesting is he does address a point that I've always been interested in at the end here. He talks about, well, proof of work, maybe because of energy costs, and maybe it's not necessarily the best model, but that's not what he's interested in. He's just interested in fixing that problem, and he's done that, and that's why KAS should be very successful in the future. So let's look at that video now.
אז בגדול זה שכבה לחלוטין אחרת, וזה נכון שהיסטורית מה שקרה זה ככל זה פשוט טעות שהיא מקרית היסטורית. מה שקרה בתעשייה זה שהפרוטוקולים החדשים יותר גם היו מהירים יותר וגם השתמשו ב-proof of stake. בעיקר בגלל אידיאולוגיות של energy. עכשיו, אני יכול לקחת לך, אוקיי, אז יש פרוטוקולים של proof of stake, יש מערכות של proof of stake שעושות לך 60,000 טרנזקציות בשנייה. בסדר? לי אין בעיה לממש לך את קספה עם 60,000 טרנזקציות בשנייה. אין לי שום בעיה. אני פשוט אכריז בהארד פורק, כאילו אני צריך לעשות הארד פורק כמו שאין אסור, אבל נגיד בג'נסיס בלוק, על ההתחלה, אני אומר, גודל הבלוקים הוא מתאים ל-60,000 טרנזקציות בשנייה. אז אם יש 10 בלוקים בשנייה, נעשה 6,000 טרנזקציות בבלוק. אין לי שום בעיה. זה לא קשה. הטרייד-אוף הוא עניין של ה-decentralization. נכון? אם אני עושה מערכת שהיא כל כך high throughput, אז להריץ צומת יהיה קשה. אז מי יריץ את הצומת? ה-core devs, או כמה חבר'ה שמתמחים ב-DevOps, יריצו לך צמתים באמזון, אבל צמתים עם high capacity, וזהו. ואז הרשת תשלט לך על ידי 10 צמתים, לא על ידי אלפי צמתים. פרויקט מאוד מפורסם שיש לו סקלביליות מטורפת, כן, לכאורה, סולנה, עשה לך כמה פעמים ריסטארט של כל המערכת. פשוט לא משנה לה כרגע מי גרם לזה, אם זה קשור לסקנדלים של SBF או לא, זה פשוט, זה מערכת שיש לך 12 בערך נודים, צמתים שמריצים אותה. אז אין בעיה ב-proof of work לעשות איזה מהירות איזה throughput שאתה רוצה. לגבי המהירות, פרוטוקול דאגנט האחרון שייצרנו, שכתבנו, הוא פרוטוקול שבהגדרה אתה לא יכול להיות יותר מהיר ממנו. כלומר, הוא משיג לך, הוא דוקר לך את החסמים הבסיסיים שאתה לא יכול לקבל, לאשר טרנזקציה בפחות מ-communication delay באינטרנט. אז במובן הזה, תיתן לי כל סקלביליות של כל מערכת proof of stake, and I can match it ב-proof of work. האם proof of work טוב או לא טוב, זה דיון אחר לחלוטין מבחינת ההשפעות, כן, על האנרגיה. אבל זה לחלוטין מקרי, לסיכום, זה לחלוטין מקרי, שהפרוטוקולים החדשים הם גם הרבה יותר מהירים, ומשתמשים פשוט בהרבה יותר, ב-throughput הרבה יותר גבוה, כי פחות אכפת להם מביזוריות. זהו, זה הקשר היחיד, והוא מקרי לחלוטין.
So yeah, it's just really cool when you watch a video like that and hear someone as significant as Jonathan Sompolinsky explaining why KAS is such a big deal. So then just one last point that I wanted to take was just to look at, he mentioned that video Solana, and that KAS can be as scalable as Solana. And then, with Solana as well having so many downtimes and so many issues, and at the same time we've got smart contracts coming to the KAS network, so soon decentralized apps and all sorts of things will be built, a whole ecosystem will be built on top of the KAS network, just like Solana. So if you look at Solana and where it is in terms of market cap right now, it's at 63 billion, and its highest market cap was like 90 billion. And then if you look at KAS right now, as we said before, KAS is at 2.5 billion. So for KAS to hit Solana's market cap, you're talking like what? Well, I'm not going to do the maths and embarrass myself here, but like a 25x or around number there and to hit Solana's all-time high, around the 35x. And Solana's a top 5 coin, but KAS does what Solana does, but way better. It does what Ethereum does, but way better. It does what Bitcoin does, but way better. So, like, even if KAS, for some reason, and it wouldn't make any logical sense that it wouldn't eventually blow past Solana and Ethereum and these other cryptos, the only reason that it mightn't is because their names are so strong. But reasonably, you would expect that KAS should be up there with those cryptos. But even if it doesn't get there, you would still think that KAS has to do a 10 or 20x here. It just seems like as low risk of a bet as you can get in cryptocurrency right now, as even just a guaranteed increase in value. You're not going to lose your money on KAS now at 10 cent. It's crazy to think that this in a year's time won't be worth a lot more. Probably, sometime in a year's time we're never ever going to see KAS down this price again. So it's such a recommended investment. Guys, right now there's a video appearing on screen. Really worth a watch as well if you're a new holder or if you're someone that's really experienced in KAS. But in that video, I share all these crypto geniuses talking about KAS and all the times they've mentioned KAS in the past, and I think it's really, really valuable to watch that. So give that a look next, and I'll see you all on the outside.